Okay, so my favorite, personal Eric story is comes from a time when Abby and I were kind of lost as parents for the first time, and Eric was really, at the very beginning of his fight and had a long road ahead of him. But I'll never forget how he took the time out of his, day or evening to actually call us and help us through our situation. And the way that went was, we were completely surprised when Parker got here and was born with Down syndrome. And uh, although we were at peace with it and we were in love with him and ready to start our lives, we weren't quite sure how to communicate that with other people. And and we were really struggling with that and really having a tough time with it. And just wanted people to look at us and not feel sorry for us, but just love us and love Parker and love our family. And we just really couldn't put that into words. And I remember getting a phone call from him and him just explaining, you know, how he had an acquaintance or a friend that had been through something similar and shared an email that they sent to all their friends. And, when Abby and I read that, it was so perfect that, we all really kind of plagiarized it and sent it out to everybody, excuse me, that we knew. But just talking to Eric that night, knowing the struggle that he had ahead of him, and the fact that he was thinking about us, not himself, really said a lot to me about the type of person that he was and the type of character that he had. And, that was the first time I realized truly that I had an older brother. Um, didn't grow up with that. I was always the oldest in my family, and boy, it was really nice to have someone a little bit older, a little bit wiser, but still, grew up during the same time frame and can kind of speak your language to help you out through life. And that was something that I never had and something that I really, really appreciated from him, um, especially considering what he was going through at that time. So that's the one. I've been able to tell him that, or I was able to tell him that, a couple of times before he passed. But that's one thing that really stood out to me. That was the first time I realized I had a brother, an older brother. Um, and I really, really just appreciated that. And, he showed that several times, um, throughout, my relationship with him. But that was the one that stood out the most because we really needed it at that time. And he had his own battle, but took time out of his own day to try to provide comfort and support for us. So it's something I'll always remember.